Hey everyone, Daniel here and welcome back to another video. I hope all of you are having a phenomenal day out there as always. Here today, I want to sit down and talk to you guys about the VGX token and Voyager Digital in general, focus in on four main things. First and foremost, the VGX token, giving you guys an update as to what's happening with the swap and potentially a fair value using new account numbers that were just released here today and my long-term targets looking out to the end of 2021. Next, we're going to talk about exactly what's happening at the company pertaining to new account growth and some very interesting marketing statistics that really show the power Voyager has when it comes to acquiring new customers. Next, we got to talk about an announcement made by the company pertaining to new board members and new additions made to essentially the board at Voyager Digital with new marketing and accounting people. And this is big, especially if you own the VGX token or the stock, as it really will help accountant growth moving forwards. And lastly, we're going to talk about what I'm doing with the VGX token, as I do have to give you guys an update as to exactly what's happening. Now, if you don't know what the VGX token is, I recommend you watch my full analysis on it in the description down below, and let's get started. By the way, if you are a part of the 62.6% of people who watch my videos and are not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and you can get alerted on all the videos that I create pretty much on a daily basis. First and foremost, what's been happening with VGX? Now trading at around $2.83, down pretty dang significantly, and this is a part of this larger pullback that we've seen in the price over the past couple of months since right around February 28th. Obviously, we saw cryptocurrencies take a massive plunge just yesterday, or rather 2 days ago. I'm filming this a day in advance, and obviously because of that, we saw VGX fall alongside that. Now, what is one of the main reasons as to this massive decline that we've seen in the price over the past couple of months? The token swap, right? The token swap is one of the things that will allow for the Voyager loyalty program to commence, and that is essentially the major catalyst that we are waiting for in terms of the Voyager token. Once this swap goes through, we're going to get a case where the Voyager loyalty program starts rolling out and individuals can start purchasing VGX for the rewards on Voyager Digital, the platform. So when we talk about an update, the last time we had any sort of update pertaining to the swap was actually in and around a month ago, April 27th, where Voyager essentially said that they finalized the swap ratio between LGO and VGX, and essentially saying that the Voyager team is actively coordinating with exchange partners to support the token swap. Once our plans are finalized, we will announce the official dates and start time, as well as more information and instructions on how to participate. Now, Voyager Digital reports earnings this coming Tuesday, so hopefully we end up getting an update pertaining to the VGX swap then. We are waiting for essentially a date to come from either Steve or the Voyager team, because that will give us a kind of a good guideline as to when this token swap will commence and when the Voyager loyalty program starts rolling out. So we actually don't have the Voyager loyalty program as of right now, and that's one of the main reasons as to why the stock has been on such a massive decline over the past couple of months. But what we can do is take the numbers that we currently have, plug them into a model, and assume a potential price of VGX once this kind of swap goes through and once the Voyager loyalty program starts rolling out in a massive way. Now, I used this in my original analysis, and I'm going to use it again. Pat Ackerman, an absolutely phenomenal gentleman who covers VGX and Voyager pretty significantly, and he uses Metcalfe's law to really predict a potential scenario with the VGX token, and he uses different efficiencies based on potentially how many people end up getting which type of tier. Now, I like to be conservative with my investments, so I generally like to look at that 50% ratio when it comes to Pat Ackerman's model. And on top of this, I want to be even more conservative, given that the fact that as more people participate in this program, the price of VGX will be pushed up higher, meaning that the eligibility for certain tiers will decrease alongside that. So that's very important to note. So when I look at these figures, I generally like to cut this kind of account number in half, meaning that for every 2 million total funded accounts on the Voyager platform, we get the result of 1 million in Pat Ackerman's model, and this will make a lot more sense once we take a look at the account numbers from Voyager Digital and my projections for account numbers alongside that. Let's take a look at those right now. So we know that up until April, this was confirmed, we have 400,000 total funded accounts. If you haven't watched my video from yesterday, I really recommend you check that out, as essentially the CEO of Voyager Digital, Steve Ehrlich, came out and said, we have over 500,000 total funded accounts as of May 20th. Absolutely huge, guys. May is obviously a month with 31 days. And the fact that we've grown total funded accounts by 100,000 in just 20 days showcases the growth at Voyager and shows where we are currently. Now, I like to look at Voyager on a month-over-month basis, and assuming the same growth that we've seen for the first 20 days of May, we can assume in and around 550,000 total funded accounts by the end of May. Absolutely phenomenal growth, and it really shows the exponential rise that we've been seeing month over month from January to February to March to April to May, and is very bullish, not just in regards to the VGX token, but in Voyager Digital stock as well for any investors out there. Now, looking at these May numbers, 550,000 total funded accounts as of May. Let's take a look at a scenario and say, all right, what if the Voyager loyalty program went live today? Where would the price of VGX be? Let's take a look at this. At 550,000 total funded accounts, using Pat Ackerman's model, we get a situation of potentially a $30 VGX, over a 10x from today's prices. I think this is a little bit optimistic, to be completely honest with you. As I said earlier, I like to cut this in half. So when Pat Ackerman says potentially $30 of per VGX token, I like to go, all right, let's assume potentially 250,000 total funded accounts using his model to get a better kind of idea. And that gives us a price in and around the range of $10 to $13 per token. So at today's kind of rate, where we are currently with total funded accounts, the VGX token should technically be trading at anywhere from $10 to $13, according to Pat Ackerman's model, which is around a 4 to 5x in the price of VGX right off the bat if we do end up getting that situation where the Voyager loyalty program goes live today. The thing is, Voyager will continue to grow throughout the remainder of the year. As long as cryptocurrencies continue to be popular, more people will sign up for accounts. So what we can do is actually look forwards and project even further. So what I have here is my projections for the remainder of the year. Assuming an exponential rise of over 10,000 month over month, meaning that when we experienced 150,000 new accounts added in May, we get 160,000 in June, 170,000 in July, we get to a point of in and around 1.88 million total funded accounts by the end of the year. Keep in mind, this could very well be conservative given the fact that Voyager has actually grown significantly more than this month over month essentially for the prior couple of months. But again, assuming 10,000, I think that's pretty realistic. And given that they're starting up their marketing campaign, and we're going to talk a little bit about marketing in a moment here, I do personally believe this is very, very possible. Again, leaving us with 1.9 million total funded accounts, we get a situation where, again, using Pat Ackerman's model, we get VGX sitting right around potentially $40 to $50 per VGX token. So, assuming that Pat Ackerman is correct in associating the price of VGX with Metcalfe's law, thus factoring in the different individuals that buy the first tier, the second tier, the third tier of the VGX loyalty program, we get a situation where Voyager is trading around $40 to $50 per token. I think that is very, very realistic by the end of the year, as long as Voyager continues to expand, as long as the Voyager loyalty program gets released within the next month or two, and as long as cryptocurrencies continue to do well, this is a very, very likely scenario for me. So if you do own any Voyager token, this should be a very, very bullish sign for you and should dictate a lot of potential upside moving forwards. Now, what I want to do now is go ahead and take a look at Voyager's marketing and how that plays to account growth, as you know, obviously VGX and Voyager Digital stock is pretty heavily correlated with the essentially new account growth. And what's very interesting here today is that the CEO of Voyager, Steve Ehrlich, went ahead and gave us statistics of average revenue per account and average account acquisition. On average, it costs Voyager $40 USD to make one account acquisition. That is essentially to take one individual and put them onto the Voyager platform using their marketing or their referral program. On average, they make $100 per user per month. Huge. This means that for every account that Voyager acquires, that person pays back for themselves within a matter of right around 12 days. That is unheard of in the marketing game and shows the efficiency of Voyager when it comes to marketing at the platform and potential growth moving forward. So I just want to show you guys, this is a company with in and around $200 million of cash on the balance sheet. It's not even assuming any potential kind of added cash from the money they're making off of their underlying business. That's just the cash that's on the balance sheet. Let's assume that this company spends potentially $40 million on advertising and it costs maybe $40 per account. They get 1 million new funded accounts. And at 1 million, you multiply that by potentially $100 per month. They're making right off the bat in and around $100 million a month by spending $40 million in advertising. Why is this important? It shows that Voyager is going to have an easy path to account growth moving forwards. The only thing that we need at Voyager at this moment in time is them to upgrade their systems. As Voyager CEO Steve Ehrlich said, they're working on this upgrade to accommodate 10 million total funded accounts or total users on the platform at once. Once that happens, the pathway of growth is very clear, and Voyager can go full steam ahead on their marketing program to allow for millions of users to find out about the Voyager platform and sign up for an account. Absolutely huge. Second last thing that I want to cover with you guys is this right here. Voyager Digital expands management team and announces change to board of directors. Again, this is important for any token holders or shareholders of the company. And first and foremost, this might be the most important thing. Pam Kramer has joined management team as full-time chief marketing officer, having an illustrious career leading marketing for market-leading consumer technology and fintech organizations, including a role as chief marketing officer at E-Trade. Keep in mind, Steve Ehrlich worked at E-Trade and really helped build out the company, where she launched market-leading digital financial products in the United States and globally, and managed a 100 million plus annual budget. Big news. She worked with Steve Ehrlich, essentially, right? And she's one of the people that helped build E-Trade back in 1999. What Steve went ahead and did essentially here today is hired Pam Kramer as Voyager's chief marketing officer. She helped build E-Trade, which is one of the biggest stock brokerages in the United States of America. And in my opinion, this is a phenomenal addition and will really help kind of continue to increase efficiency at Voyager when it comes to new account acquisition and marketing dollars spent. Here we have a little bit about a new chief global data officer, more than 20 years of experience prior to joining Voyager. Data analytics senior executive and leadership positions, including at Uber, Trinet, Oracle, Responsys, JP Morgan and Chase, and Cisco. Giant establishments. This gentleman here has a lot of experience in the area of global data and will be great. A great kind of addition here when it comes to analytics at the company. Phenomenal additions, not too much to be said, except for the chief marketing officer, which will really help speed up essentially the marketing at Voyager moving forwards. Steve Ehrlich, CEO, said Voyager's ability to attract world-class talent to both our board and management team positions us to rapidly scale our platform and take advantage of our first mover status to grow our user base and product offering. Steve continued, with our strong economic model and low customer acquisition costs, Voyager has the opportunity to outpace the competition as we build out the most customer-friendly crypto platform globally. Huge. And he mentioned globally, which is phenomenal, as Voyager will be expanding internationally within the coming months. Hopefully, we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment here. But again, they made some changes to management. Again, you can read through this. It isn't really too big of a deal here. They just switched out some management members. Nothing too big on this front. Now, last thing I want to cover here. What am I doing? Am I buying VGX? Am I selling VGX? In my last analysis video, I made a point that I personally don't own VGX. I own Voyager Digital stock, but don't own the VGX token. And I want to go through a little more in depth as to why I don't. The thing about the token, I am not an American citizen. I live in Canada. Because of that, I'm not able to use the Voyager platform, which is the easiest way to buy the VGX token. You set up an account, you buy VGX. In Canada, the only way I can buy VGX is through Binance. And the thing about Binance, dang Binance, is not allowing any onboarding of Canadian dollars on the platform. And because I don't use Binance, I have to figure out a way to potentially transfer some cryptos from another exchange onto Binance to allow me to purchase the VGX token. let me make this very clear. I'm bullish on VGX. I personally don't own it because it's a heck of a job to try and, kind of buy it here on my end. So as soon as I'm able to do so, I'm going to try and update you guys as much as I can on this whole process here. I'm going to buy VGX. I want to buy it before Voyager expands into Canada because I think that is a very big bullish catalyst, especially with the fact that, any Canadians that want to use Binance can't even deposit money onto it. Just embarrassing, honestly. But just generally speaking, just giving you guys an update, I want to buy VGX. I'm going to buy VGX as soon as I can. I just got to figure out this whole situation with Binance. On the other end, I still hold my VYGVF shares, and I'm very bullish on the company moving forwards. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here. If you found any value in it whatsoever, please consider subscribing, and see you all next time.